What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pop. Shout out to my mother and my grandmother for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at EMAX Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. We'll not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful, illustrious sports world. And y'all see each and every single week, we are getting closer and closer and closer to making the qualifiers rather, for the 3-on-3 Olympic tournament coming up in Paris. I promise you, when we get there, we're going to put on for the country, but most importantly, we're going to put on for the city, considering we are all from Houston. But what is a podcast without your brethren?
Yeah, man, we working on that Wendy's special. 4 for 4. Wendy's, if you're watching, vibe with us. Shine Hard Izzo, Big Brother Iron Man tapping in, man. Shine Hard, Surgical Pics, Twitter, Instagram. Man, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. I am the one and only Sedacious Xavier Miles. And on behalf of me and my brothers, I want to say thank you so much for supporting and chiming in. Please go follow me on Instagram at I am Sedacious, also on TikTok. And if you're trying to get this money, I need you to go follow me. Let's go, bro.
Sure, indeed, man. All right, so this week in the rundown, we mostly try to make sure that we lean towards asking the questions around whatever cultural or hot sport topics, asking the questions that nobody is asking. But this week, we're just gonna run off our takes for whatever is catching our eye this week. So last week, I'm gonna start us off. Last week, the announcement was made for NCAA college football now coming out this summer in July. When this news first broke, maybe like 2 years ago, I think I was definitely of the minority, believing it was all cap and it wasn't coming out no time soon. Prove me wrong. It actually did. It is expected to see the light of day, which is great. Um, I just want to say this: for it to be such a long awaited um, arrival of this game to now come back into the lives of so many gamers who grew up on this game. The NCAA college football trailer is absolutely trash. It was
Wow.
it was horrible. It was
You think you
horrible.
think so?
It was horrible, bro. It was trash. Like, if you just like go look at it, it's just like
You talking about from a gameplay perspective or graphics?
more the graphics and the graphics and the gameplay. Like, I expect that's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. But just in terms of like the theatrics of like, here's the game, this is what we got, this is what we offering. It was trash. Like, it wasn't exciting. I'm just like, okay, y'all got everybody walk out, cool. Okay, y'all got the duck from Oregon. Okay, cool. Okay, the gameplay, the spins, the jukes, the step. I mean, that's gonna be what it's gonna be. Just go play Madden. I'm sure you're gonna get the same graphics. But
No.
just like it was trash to me, bro. It was trash.
Understandable. When I saw the trailer, I'm not an NCAA guy. Oh, don't kill
Hold
me in the
on. Let,
comments.
let, let me
I,
cut you off real quick. Forgive me, please.
yeah.
And I'm speaking solely from just the trailer, the cuts, the edit standpoint. Now, a lot of people may jump on this take and be like, bro, you crazy, because they're speaking from an emotional standpoint of what the game means. I'm not talking about that. We understand what the game means and represents to the gaming community, the gaming world. Specifically, the trailer, the cuts, the graphics, the edits. That's what I'm calling trash.
Are you speaking of the trailer where they have like certain cameos of college players? You talking about the one where they do real people and in between there are snippets of gameplay?
Yeah, that trailer that they released to show the game. Yes, that one.
You think it's
Because it's a recent one that just came out a
okay?
few days ago with the actual gameplay and stuff, right?
The one I watched it again. The one I watched last week, I made sure I watched it again to make sure I'm not wilding. So that's let me see.
Because the game trailer I watched, and I think it's the same one. I think you just being a real hard critic. again, but you know
Yeah,
that's your prerogative.
the one that released 4 days ago. Trash.
Okay, yeah, we talking about the same one then.
Yeah, trash.
I actually thought the trailer was really detailed, right? You got Wyoming's statue, and I don't even know about Wyoming football or Wyoming culture. I just know Josh Allen was stud quarterback at Wyoming, you know, some odd years ago, which is why Wyoming holds any relevancy to me outside of Kanye West, you know, having a ranch there, you know, once upon a time. But I thought it was pretty detailed as far as like, you know, the college atmosphere, you know, stadiums encompassing like, you know, stadium details, different uniform details that I hear is incoming. And then I think NCAA, what they call it in college football 25, they actually are gonna have a my ultimate team segment on there. At hear me out. I've yet to play it personally, but I watched some of the top Madden players in the world stream and played my ultimate team. And from that perspective, I think it'd be dope to have a ultimate college team with some of your favorite college athletes ever, right? Just thinking about having a backfield with retro Vince Young, prime Reggie Bush.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And then you look out wide and you got, you know what I mean?
Ricky Williams,
you got
Tavon
Calvin Johnson
Austin.
from Georgia Tech over there. Like,
think about everybody who about to go pick up Tavon Austin. Like
DeAnthony Thomas.
Come on, man. Come on, P-Dub.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah, like,
Hey.
yeah, Peter Ward, FSU. Like, come on, yeah.
Come on, man. But yeah, just from that perspective, I mean, I thought it was pretty dope. Like I said, I'm not the huge college football guy. I'm more of a Madden guy, truth be told. But you know, I can definitely respect the game when it comes to the trailer that I saw. I think it appealed to me, somebody who, and maybe so, maybe the novice in me, because I'm not a detailed NCAA guy, so I wasn't knowing what to look for. But when I saw it, I was just like, okay, EA looks like they may have potentially gone in a direction to where they may have gotten it right.
Yeah.
Potentially, allegedly.
Possibly. Yeah, I can hear you, Daisha.
Okay. I know if y'all can hear me or not. Bro, unpopular opinion, that trailer is hard, bro.
Wow, okay.
Hard. No, I'm saying you have an unpopular opinion. And you came with the issue because that trailer hard, bro.
Yeah, no, unpopular opinion. I didn't think it was like, it didn't move me, bro. It didn't make sense.
You are a very hard critic, my friend.
Bro, I'm speaking solely from, I don't know, I keep saying it, but like you said, the detail, the jerseys, like, I'm not talking about, I get that's gonna be that. Just in terms of just like a fast cutting, edit, smooth, like, oh wow, like, you know, whatever whatever acrobatic plays that y'all put into, like, that you see, oh, somebody jumped over somebody or whatever the case may be, like the editing of the trailer was not, it was very anticlimactic, bro. It's like a minute of like walkouts and it's just like,
okay, so this
okay, like, when are we gonna like see like this action? But that's just my personal opinion of how I feel about it. And I'm solely talking about the trailer. I don't think the game and like the graphics and all that is gonna be trash. Like Isaac talked about, like the ultimate team. Like, I believe that stuff is gonna be hard. Solely talking about the trailer. That's it. Hopefully they make another one as it gets closer to, just to like amp up everybody more. Hopefully they hear this and be like, we accept your challenge, Respect the Game podcast. We're gonna put together another trailer. But that's just I just have to get that out there in the universe.
Yeah, I feel like you have a different eye that you are looking from because you are indeed a filmmaker. So you are looking for different things, different skill sets that you want to see come out in the work of someone. And so it's funny. But to a random chicken, a random robot who's not interested in executive producing film, well, I guess not yet. With that being your passion, in mine, I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go along with the sheep and be like, yeah, we're buying this. We definitely hit this because we can, like my brother said, the being able to play MUT. I'm sure it's not going to be called MUT because it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's the same acronym. It's called My Ultimate Team. So
Okay,
just the same thing they
right.
got for Madden.
So, bro, that's gonna be crazy, especially if you can. There are a lot of people to. I mean, football. You can only go to college to get to the pros. So there are going to be a lot of playable characters, and also, brother, and
A
also,
lot of people that weren't him in the NFL, but were him in college, like Johnny Manziel on the miles. Man, come on.
Yeah.
another thing to think about too is what I saw in that trailer, excuse me, what we have yet to see in other trailers before, what you thank God for is now these players are getting ready to get paid for their likeness and their images because the laws have changed. And so now NCAA could bring out the game and then everybody family go buy it. And
Legally,
now
they can't even call it NCAA no more. They done cut out the NCAA
Yeah.
totally. They got to call it college
Kind of
football.
football, yeah.
Yeah.
The red tape.
take NCAA out of it. Y'all can have that. Let's pay these children.
Pay the babies, man.
Because they got their names on the back of the jersey. That was what I noticed on the trailer. I'm like, oh man.
They
And then
really got their name. Niggas don't know what we had to go through to go in and change and edit names.
Bruh.
Go pick out. Man, nah, I think this is him.
Yeah, man.
Nah, bro, 95.
What number?
My homie right here.
Yeah, like what number is that again?
I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to my dog, Matt Davis, man. Got an awesome church here in Houston, Texas, Blueprint Church. But in a previous life, man, dude was a superstar quarterback at SMU. If they got him on my ultimate team, definitely can't wait to break Buddy out and hit a 4-3 up the sideline for a 50-yarder. Dude was a monster in college, man. Shout out to my dog.
Nah, man, yeah, salute to you. You definitely big them up on the podcast very frequently since we've been doing the pod. So yeah, man. Obviously in the comments, let us know what y'all think. College football 25. How did y'all feel about the trailer? Me, I thought it was trash, but that's just me. I think the gameplay is gonna be dope and cool. Specifically, just talking about the trailer, nothing more, nothing less. So Anthony Edwards, he has led his team, the Timberwolves, dethroning the champions from last year, that being the Denver Nuggets. And we lay out the floor for our brother Shahar Izzo for his monologue, his take of what he wanted to express about Anthony Edwards moving forward.
To the rest of the NBA world, hey man, bring your ass. You heard what Ant said to Charles Barkley post Game 7 on the interview, man. We quite possibly, I believe we're looking at the change of the tide in regards to who the face of the league may be, man. Anthony Edwards, charismatic, authentic, likable, personable, a leader at 22 years of age, man. You're looking at a passing of the guard, man. You're looking at the next great perimeter player within our league, right? Who's gonna transcend that Kobe-esque role, that LeBron-esque role, that Michael-esque role, in regards to their tenure and their place within the league, man. Can't say enough about Ant. Um, though he did not have a great shooting night, Game 7, he definitely made his presence felt on the defensive side of the ball, especially late in the ball game, and still leading, right? Still encouraging the guys, getting involved within the game and, different facets, rebounding, assisting, shots not falling. He didn't go pout in the corner because he couldn't contribute offensively. He got active and he tried to do something about, his team in the position that they were in and anything that he could do to affect winning. So, um, hey, man, dude ain't coming no more. Dude here, pause. I know you looking out, but uh yeah, man. Ant is one of those guys for sure. Absolutely, man. Unequivocally, 100%, man. we watching the rise of Anthony Edwards in real time. Really hope he get a ring
this year.
this year, man. I would not mind out of all the teams that are left currently withholding some very sinister words. If Jason Tatum don't hit this parlay for me, some extremely sinister words that I'm gonna hold off on. But you know, just in regards to how he's rallied that T-Wolves team, nobody thought in a million years the Minnesota Timberwolves could win a championship. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Like, and if you did, you probably are living in Minneapolis. You're one of those people, right?
Yeah.
Anybody outside of that, we not thinking that, right? So
Yeah.
for him to actually give real life and real hope, that is actually a very realistic possibility, man. I think it's a testament to the GM for building the team, because I definitely had reservations on paying Rudy Gobert $200 million. Still think he got a little overpaid. But when you know, 4-time, then 3-time defensive player of the year, that's definitely gonna warrant you you know, that max contract. So you know, man, shout out to Anthony Edwards, man. Hell of a series, man. Hell of a game.
Talking about shouting out the GM for the Wolves, Tim Connelly was also the GM that put together the Denver team that we currently see constructed. So one could argue that it was him who knew what it would take to beat the Denver team, which may allude to why he paid Rudy Gobert so much, because he knew what it was going to take to get out of the West and play a Denver team.
Wow, good insight. I like that.
Yeah, I think what excites me is the youth in it all, because I've always seen Mike and Kobe when it came to Anthony Edwards. But this game 7, the way that they win, and like Sean Hart said, you know what I'm saying, had a bit of a shooting slump. But that game 7, I kind of seen the playmaking ability, like a Bron-esque type of game. And to see that, it was almost like him showing us that he truly does have the ultimate package. And pause. And so, I mean, and that's pretty much it, man. Like Sean Hart said, nobody's seen the Timberwolves coming this far. Pause again. And it's looking like they could take it all. Okay, yeah. I'm done. I'm gonna pause it.
Nah, man. I'm cashing all my chips in on the Timberwolves to go out and beat the possibly assumed Boston Celtics. I think to beat the champs, you got to beat the champs. You know, as the old cliche goes, the Timberwolves have done that, and they've done it in a very hostile circumstances. Game 7 on the road. I know I had them booked to lose the series after they allowed Denver to come back and take back home court advantage, tying the series 2 apiece. I thought that the Timberwolves are dead in the water, and Denver was going to close it out at 6. Who was wrong? Me, right here. Boy, was I wrong, right? And so for them to do that in the game 7, and then also too, the reason I have them heavily favored to win the championship, I ain't caring about nothing what Boston Celtics got going on, is I believe being battle tested as you're trying to get to the mountaintop, it matters. And I believe because the Timberwolves are more battle tested, I give them the edge. I give them the more grit, the more hunger, the more desire, the more fight to have what it takes to win the championship against the Boston Celtics. You look at the Boston Celtics, they have pretty much been having a regular season schedule where, you know, the first round 4-1 against the Heat, who was hurt, injured. Second round, they get the discount on the last 2 games to close out because Donovan Mitchell don't play, so they get a gift and they get some luck in that regard. Here in this third round, the Pacers I believe the Pacers to be a Cinderella team, as they have also benefited from injuries with Giannis and Dame, and then Brunson, and all the other injuries along that goes on with the New York Knicks. And so, if these two teams paying respects to Luka and Kyrie, if the Timberwolves were to be able to advance out of the Western Conference Finals, I have them beating the Boston Celtics solely just off the strength that like they're more battle tested, bro. And it just feels like it's Ants time. It just do. And
Yeah.
and people may try to refute what I'm saying and be like, oh well, Boston Celtics are battle tested. No, teams of the previous teams of the Boston Celtics are battle tested. This team currently constructed for the Boston Celtics is not battle tested. So whatever their chemistry,
I mean, but your core nucleus on the Celtics have been to the finals, and then you got Drew Holiday, who's a champion, who's battle tested. And I think was Derek White on any championship teams with the Spurs? I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
I think he missed that wave.
Yeah, I don't think he was there with Kawhi.
Kawhi in 2014. I mean, not 2014, but yeah, 2014.
I don't even understand why we're talking about the Celtics for real when we all believe that it's between whoever comes out of Minnesota and Dallas. That's really the NBA championship.
But I'm gonna disagree with you off this premise. The NBA world has been hyping up the Boston Celtics since they acquired Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. They've won 65 plus games this regular season. Undoubtedly the best regular season team in the league, says the record. As the famous quote goes, you are as good as your record says you are. So just off of that alone, I can't let you say that, it's just like, now I'm gonna go West up. I'm a Western Conference guy by heart, but I can't just completely ignore the Boston Celtics, even though the Pacers are making this very much so a game. This is not even going. By the way,
you believe that
Jason Tatum, one made 3 through 4 quarters. He still has a chance, but I'm telling you now, I promise you, I'm telling you.
A little bit of how we end the podcast for the game.
Man, I done seen him do it though. I done seen him hit 2, 3 threes back there. Go ahead, Dexter. I'm ranting. I'm pissed right now.
Can compete with whoever comes out the West.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're gonna get watched.
I don't think it's gonna be a game.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game. I'm just saying I favor the T-Wolves. I'm not saying like
this nigga just hate Jason Tatum. That's what that is.
Okay. I ain't saying the Celtics don't stand a chance. I'm just saying I'm rooting for the T-Wolves to come out of the West and overtake the Celtics.
I'm saying they don't stand a chance.
Damn, that's tough. I don't agree with that.
I'm saying they don't stand a chance.
And it's not stand a chance.
Okay, so break down for the people from your POV, why don't they stand a chance against either the T-Wolves or Dallas?
Because I'll take your premise, right? Off of what you say as far as being battle tested, right? I feel as though the Timberwolves are more battle tested than the Dallas Mavericks are, the Dallas Mavericks is still more battle tested than the Boston Celtics in my mind. So if they are now being more battle tested coming out of the series with the T-Wolves, they beat the T-Wolves, you think the Celtics got a chance?
I ain't gonna lie. Every game that I know you're entitled to one, and it's the best. It's the first to 4 games, and that's the reason it's a 7-game series. But like the blunders, bro, that they be, and this is another reason why I don't. I'm sorry, Sebastian. I'm taking over your take, go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I already know where you're going with it, and I'm just gonna meet you halfway there. I don't believe in Joe Mazzulla's adjustments. I don't believe in his defensive schemes whatsoever. If Idoku was still coaching this team, I'd actually have the Boston Celtics favored for winning.
I believe in
that's how much I think coaching drastically tilts the scale of power in this situation, because Joe Mazzulla is very much a free-flowing, take what the game gives you type of offense. We're not gonna really run a whole lot of sets per se. we're gonna more so depend upon our offensive talent. I'm gonna trust guys to figure it out, pass the ball, get off of it. But I think when it comes to the finals, you're going up against the best coach. They're going to be able to scheme you up. If you put the T-Wolves against the Celtics, brother, they are gonna be having niggas in lock and key. Like Jay McDaniels, Anthony Edwards is gonna take that assignment personally against Tatum. I can see it now. Jay McDaniels getting an assignment on Tatum, and maybe possibly Anthony Edwards getting an assignment on Jaylen Brown. You got that Georgia connection going. I think it's gonna be tough, man. I think T-Wolves are gonna be swarming on defense. And then to Sedatious' point about the Mavericks being more battle tested, I will agree with you solely on Kyrie Irving being a battle tested champion and being 14-0 and closeout game scenarios, the best record in NBA history by far by a player. And then Jason Kidd being a champion as a coach, as a player first, being a member of the Dallas Mavericks, coincidentally enough, when they won against the Heat, 15 plus, damn, has it been 15 years? 10 plus years ago, man. Yeah, 15. Damn. Wow. Newsflash, I'm getting old. I'm getting older. I ain't old, man. I'm still in my 20s. Y'all niggas old. Anyway.
You 30 this year, right? Or 29?
I'm 29.
Hey, what we doing for the 30 ball? What we doing for the 30 ball this year, man?
We will talk about that off camera. But I definitely I would favor either the Mavericks or the T-Wolves over the Celtics, just off the strength of the coaching experience and just I think the attention on the defensive end that'll be given. I just don't think Boston and Missoula, they're detailed enough for that. Tatum better hit these threes, boy. I'm not even.
Also, too, I just want to add a note on this part too. Those games they've dropped at home lets me know that they're beatable, and I feel like if you have a killer instinct, if you truly locked in and trying to win this championship this year, you don't give up the game against the Miami Heat, even though they went on like a ridiculous like 3-point onslaught. And you don't give up that game against Cleveland. And so like, even if you throw out the Heat game because they went nuclear from with their shooting, and just look at the Cavs game, it's just, I don't know. I feel like if you really trying to handle business, like, you don't give up those games, and those games let me know that like y'all are prone to having a lapse of judgment against a team who not even at full strength. So if y'all could be beat and have one lapse of judgment, even if it's just one game against teams who aren't at full strength, as Sean Hart Izzo say, Anthony Edwards is here, and he brought his wolves with him. So like,
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So like, again, with respect to Luca Brasi and Kyrie, if the T-Wolves get past them, and like, I like
Kyrie, real killer.
real killer in the field with it. I like the T-Wolves' chances to upset, since they're considered the favorite, upset the Celtics. Yeah, man. Still talking about basketball. Caitlin Clark, man. Caitlin Clark is now 4 games into the to her WNBA career. Excuse me. She's now 4 games into her WNBA career, averaging 17 points, 4 rebounds, 5.5 assists, as well as 6.5 turnovers, and averaging just below 1 block and 1 steal. For casual fans who may have just picked up on Caitlin Clark in college, and you rarely, if any, watch any type of basketball outside of her, you probably trying to like figure out like, oh, like what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they said she's going to be like doing what she's doing in college in the in the WNBA. Great news, she's still playing in the WNBA the same way she played in college, which is great to see. She's not changing her game at all. I love to see that. The bad news is the team is not that great. Not breaking news. We all know that. That's always the
I
situation.
ain't
There's a
blaming
number
it on
one.
the team.
That's always where a number one draft pick is going to a sorry team.
Mhm.
But here's what I've been thinking about, right? Caitlin Clark is great. And I feel like as we talk about what she means to the WNBA, being the face of not just the Fever, but developing, if not already, being the face of the WNBA, that new crowd, those new fans that she has brought to the WNBA, setting a record in her WNBA debut, 2.1 million viewers for the WNBA game, which is the most in 20 plus years, which was more than how many people watched the WNBA finals last year. I don't know how many of those how the percentage of the new audience that the WNBA has. I don't know how long they stick around if Caitlin Clark is losing for too long. I think they give her grace and they stick around for her rookie year, but if there's not an immediate like uptick or like playoff hopeful within next year or the third year, I think that viewership and I think that hype dies out. We start to see that viewership go back down to normal because what elevated Caitlin Clark on top of her greatness is that she was winning. There's a lot of players who are great, but they can't translate that into winning because of whether it's their team or whatever the case may be. But obviously, Caitlin Clark was dominant enough at the college ranks to where her talent was so far and superior that she could drag her teammates to victory. WNBA, total different story. You playing against way greater talent than you were at the college level, and I just like I'm watching them play, and obviously you see
She
her.
just looks less athletic than everybody, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. And people like to compare her, obviously, to Steph Curry. Um, let let us let us remind you that Steph Curry was, and then people are gonna point to, but oh, Caitlin moves great off the ball, just like Steph.
No,
Yeah, a little different though. I'll tell you why. So Steph could actually break people down off the dribble and get to his own shot. Not saying that Caitlin can't,
she could do
but
that at the college level.
college level, right? But when she's trying to get to that and be that prowess on the perimeter on the WNBA level, oftentimes and not, I'm seeing these ladies take the challenge personally, i.e. Dejanay Carrington for the Connecticut Suns, man. You want to talk
Clamps,
about taking a challenge extremely personal, man? People not,
handcuffs.
people are not gonna let you come to the league and think you about to do the same thing you did to the Big Ten or the Big East when you were in college. This ain't that.
You
This
are
ain't the same.
not.
No,
You are not about to Haley Van Leet the WNBA. It's not happening.
not even close. Not even close.
I agree with you, Izzo, and I agree with your sentiments, right? And the thing about this is what makes Steph great to me. It's not solely what he could do with the ball in his hand. It's the system that he's in that allows him to move without the ball, so that makes him a catch and shoot sniper. You have to pay it. Some would argue Steph is more dangerous without the ball than he is with the ball, because at least with the ball
Absolutely.
you could pay attention to him a little bit more. You know where he's attacking you from, but off the ball, you kind of at his mercy and whatever screen he's running off of, right? Fever head coach, you have to find a way to make her lethal like Stephen Curry off the ball. Because if you're gonna sit there and try to just pick and roll her to death with whoever with Nalissa Smith or Asia Boston, she's not going to be as effective as she can be if she always got the ball in her hand. Like you said, teams are going to take that matchup personal. Sometimes they guard her before she even touched the ball. She got to swing it over to Erica Wheeler or Kelsey Mitchell to be like, "Hey, y'all bring
I
up the
wanna
ball."
I wanna point out something though. With us heaping praise on Steph Curry and being a little critical of Caitlin Clark, I really think it goes to show like how pivotal and don't call me crazy for this, but I think it really shows how pivotal Draymond Green is to the success overall of the Warriors, and a direct correlation in regards to um, Steph being better on the court when Draymond Green is there, because we want to equate Caitlin Clark to Steph Curry so bad, but when I go look at the Indiana Fever, I don't see a Draymond Green on that team. I don't see another Klay Thompson on that team that's allowing the space for a system like that to even go forth. I don't see a playmaking forward that can run the break and who's locked down defensively in their prime, um, and gives the ability for Steph to get off of the ball and to, do all of the movement things that make him Steph Curry, right? So I think it's number one. I think you got to give Draymond Green his flowers in that regard, because they made it look easy, man, for years. And when you look back at it in retrospect, man, that ain't gonna be duplicated. Another Draymond Green ain't gonna come out of the draft, right? You damn sure ain't finna get another Steph Curry. You surely not gonna get another Klay Thompson, right? I think it's just a really rare instance where, Steve Kerr knew what he had. Shout out to Mark Jackson. He knew what he had. Um, and they tailored it, to a hand fit glove in order for those players to be successful. So I don't see them with a player of Draymond Green's IQ that's gonna have that the coach is gonna trust in order to be like, hey, we need Kalen off the ball in order to, run around and get open. And that's where the athleticism comes in, right? Like, do you have the quickness to get off of screens? Do you have the agility, the elusiveness to be as sly and slick and swift as Curry is with the quick trigger release in regards to having the offense still flow and you not be so ball dominant to where you're averaging almost 7 turnovers a game, right? Like, because that's unheard of. That's not sustainable.
Yeah, that's not sustainable. Sean Hart is on surgical picks. If you're averaging 6 turnovers a game, it may want to take the under on the fantasy. But
Caitlin is a little but yeah, I ain't gonna lie, 7 turnovers, man. You want to talk about can kill a
line.
so quick?
Can kill a line, man. That's taking 10 points away. Like, but
Can you hear me?
oh, go ahead, Jason. My bad.
My bad. Am I coming in delayed? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
We hear you now.
10-4. My question is, do we believe that Steph Curry's game made Draymond Green and Klay better, or do we believe that Draymond Green and Klay lifted Steph's game a little bit?
I think it was
because that with Stephen Curry running literally a quarter a mile every possession, it makes it easier for Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, in my mind, versus the other way around. I could be mistaken, so that's why I'm asking. Because if Caitlin Clark could run as much as Steph ran off the ball, right, and her coach actually puts in the sets the way it's supposed to go, comes up with plays, she, why can she not be as dynamic? Not as dynamic as Steph, but you know what I'm saying? Why couldn't she be?
I think she got the shooting capability to be just as dynamic as Stephen Curry. I think it's just a matter of one, coach sides, the Fever head coach implementing that type of system, and then
they getting her out of there after this season, because they're gonna have to bring in Geno Atkins or somebody. They're gonna have to bring in Becky Hemp. They're gonna have to bring in somebody.
Man. Like, I think and I'm speaking from a perspective. I believe Caitlin is already trending in a direction to be a star. Now we talk about Saper global mega superstar like she was in college. I think that type of Stephen Curry system has to be implemented to unlock her to that superstardom for her to be effective in the WNBA, long everlasting. That's all I'm saying. Like, she gonna average her 20. I was liking her around 15 to 17 this year, just depending on how she may struggle or not, against defenses. And here's another thing too. So giving her flowers, Caitlin, I respect the fact that she's a hooper at heart. And simply what I mean by that is like she's competitive and she isn't going to settle for like having a bad game. Case in point, had the abysmal game against the New York Liberty, and it's like, oh, they cracked the code, they figured it out, whatever, so on and so forth. But that very next game, when they had to play them again, she came back with a different approach and dropped 20. And so to me, that showed fighting her. That showed I'm not quitting, I'm not folding. That showed I'm gonna figure this out one way or the other. Cool, bet. All right, I had 8 points, but I'm gonna come back. And so I thought that said a lot just about her heart, her character as a hooper. As we get to see her go through adversity at this level,
Good basketball character.
1010%. But the original question: if the Fever don't start winning, let's say within next year, within the next 3 years, if the Fever don't start winning within the next 3
years,
do we expect the Caitlin viewership to still stay at a high level if the Fever are losing?
Brother, here to break it to you. You got this year. People's attention spans is short. Now, people love a good story. They love a good hero story, but they also love a good downfall, right?
I think she get grace for her rookie season debut.
She got 2 years tops.
2 years.
2 tops. And I'm saying 2 generously, like I need to see her turn the corner halfway, at least halfway through the season. Like if I don't, you know what I mean? Like it needs to start equating to wins. And again, this could be a product of coaching because we've seen an inability to coach that could really hold players back.
I'm gonna bring another question to y'all, but I want you to answer too, Dacius. If they're not winning in the next 2 to 3 years, do you think the viewership still stays high for the WNBA? If the Fever aren't winning within the next 2 to 3 years, does the viewership stay high for the WNBA?
No.
No. Yeah, I don't. I think it goes back to the casuals who, like myself, who just like genuinely love hoop and watching hoop. Like if Caitlin isn't there, that's why when I had made that text, I was like, Caitlin game winner. I was like, that may make the views go up if y'all get her to rock for a game winner.
Oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, buddy, don't know what you watching. Ain't happening.
But in talking about them winning, and if they aren't winning, is the viewership gonna stay there? My next question around this situation is, will Caitlin Clark's game transcend enough that it could translate to wins? She, continue to help make people better. Because like I said, she's playing the same way, making all the same passes or whatever. Just gonna take time and chemistry with her new teammates. Will her game, kind of how LeBron was able to drag teams to the finals? Can we foresee Caitlin's game being something like that, or will she eventually have to? That was the best analogy I had for you. Relax.
We gotta just we take LeBron for granted, man.
I don't. I'm not saying it like it was easy. I'm just saying like with Caitlin Clark's game.
We're saying drag bumps to the finals, like that's just some normal stuff.
Will Caitlin Clark's game solely be enough to start turning around the Fever's organization into wins, or will she eventually have to leave the Fever to win? I know it's too early, but just for the sake of debate, do we think she'll eventually have to leave if they not winning in the next 2-3 years and her contract up? And like again, what made her great is she was winning in college. Like winning sales.
She won in college. She never won in college. So the whole idea that, oh yeah, she's a winner, she's this and that. Yeah. LeBron wasn't labeled as a winner for making so many finals appearances and like, oh wow, LeBron's really a winner. He was looked at, man, you bum, you can't win it. Come on, these are the things that were said. It's a matter of fact league. Either you do it or you don't. We don't give kudos for coming close unless your name is not LeBron James, because apparently a lot of that is going around.
Apparently that's acceptable.
I don't see people bad mouthing Jokic for them letting go of the rope on a 20-point lead in a closeout game 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you see Jokic, he had 42. Oh, well, it wasn't his fault. How many times LeBron done went completely ape shit and his team has still come up short, and they feel
It's LeBron's.
well, then Jordan would have, man. You know what I mean? So I just think he toting a real fine line, man. So I wish all this section. Well, I don't want this to come across as
No, I
that
understand.
we hate Caitlin Clark segment, because I'm not a hater. I actually like Caitlin Clark.
Definitely.
But
we're just talking about the opposites and how we foresee her career unfolding. That's all, man. Like everybody else is doing. We're not haters. We're calling her a star now. Will she be unlocked into a superstar? That's all we're trying to figure out.
They're gonna have to get another coach in there, because this guy, I don't know if he know what he's doing.
Lady.
Oh, woman, and see, and there you go. I don't even know. I'm not respecting the game. I do it with somebody who wasn't doing it. You know, and I don't even want to say she ain't doing her job, but what I am saying is, with a player of that caliber, you gotta really come with it in regards to being a coach, having a scheme ready. And then it'll force you to go draft players that can fit a scheme, right? And all of the little bullshit coaching that go on in the WNBA, if you don't have a scheme, it will get exposed, right? Because I don't think Caitlin Clark is just this pick and roll guru. I don't want to see her running pick and roll all game. I need some off ball,
some off ball,
action,
dog.
I need some backdoor screens, some pin downs.
You hitting, you preaching, bro. Like, put her in a position to where, like, all she got to do is catch it and let it fly at least 8 times a game. The pick and roll,
bare minimum.
The pick and roll that's gonna continuously get trapped. She gonna keep having those turnovers of people sticking their hands, shooting the pocket. Though I think the turnovers will come down. We want to see her be great. Like, we want to see her be great.
She does have to master the pick and roll, though. I will say that.
I think she did. Like, she makes the right basketball plays more times than not. It's just players are faster, so like you got to be a little bit sharper or quicker, getting to like certain passes or certain spots on the floor. As that's just what the learning curve is going to be in the WNBA. But yeah, I think if they don't win soon, I think the viewership starts to come down, and I think with her brand and everything like that, I think that's what helps. Again, she ain't won the glory of the championship, but considering who she is and what her team is, like, and her setting her own individual personal records, I think that helped her, be a winner, though she never got to the complete mountaintop. But yeah, if they don't win, I see that viewership coming down in the next 3 years of all that it's accumulated over the past couple of months. Again, her WNBA debut averaged 2.1 million views, most in 20 years, and most more views than the WNBA finals last year. And I don't know if it's going to be coaching. I don't know if her game is going to transcend into like her teammates rallying around her for those wins to turn over, or she's going to have to end up getting traded or leaving once her contract is up. I don't know, but interesting enough, I think in the next 4 years, the WNBA is trying to add 4 teams or 6 teams. So that's going to be interesting in itself. Got to give it time, obviously, but we're just trying to predict the future early, man. But nah, Caitlin Clark, love what you're doing thus far in the league. Triple salute to you.
I believe that.
Huh?
Hopefully we can get the comments back.
Bro, they got everybody and their mama being pitched right now. Detroit, I done seen a handful of names. I'm like, you're not gonna do the obvious? Like,
yeah. We're not gonna bring the comments back with the great Cheryl Swoops. Are you kidding me?
I think that'll really help viewership. Because that'll have.
How about we actually bring back a staple within the WNBA history, one of the historic franchises.
And you right, Dacius.
Tina Thompson, Cheryl Swoops, all of these greats, bro. Like, I remember going to a Houston Comets game, bro. Like,
I'm saying that's ticket sales off the rip, because they're gonna get the Rockets Comets package. All of Houston's gonna get it.
Hey man, it's time.
To your
Tillman
point,
Fertitta, you know what to do.
Yeah, they've been going to hella Rockets and Comets games.
the more teams, I think that adds to the viewership. The more teams over the next few years, because you got more home bases watching teams more. So I think that helps to a degree. Real quick update going into overtime: Pacers versus Boston, 117-117. The Boston Celtics just made a defensive stop to force the game into overtime. Jason Tatum is now 1 for 6 from the 3-point line going into overtime.
We got some more time.
Does a good job of Jason Tatum just suffocates him and forces a tough shot. This the key shot for the Celtics.
I think we got one more thing.
Not gonna lie to you. Tatum don't hit in overtime. Boom. Bam. I don't care.
We kind of talked about this. We got Boston favorite coming out of this Eastern Conference Finals. Rooting for I want the T-Wolves to come out. But do y'all have any opposite opinion between Dallas and Eastern Conference? I mean Dallas and the T-Wolves out of the West. What are y'all predictions?
I'm gonna just say that I feel like any bad mouthing on this podcast that has anything to do with Anthony is really kind of not to be tolerated. I could put that assumption on my own, but y'all just let me know how y'all.
I already got my prediction. I said I really wanted to go to Louisiana and place the bet. I was trying to place it that the T-Wolves will win 2024 NBA championship when they were playing, when it was like the second game of that series, of the Nuggets and T-Wolves series. So I'm going to still stand by that. I got Anthony Edwards, young Michael, young Lion, young Kobe. You know what I'm saying? I got him winning his first chip, bro. He getting the goofy Karl Anthony Towns, who's a great shooter, great big man in the league. It's just gonna be him getting a championship for the Minnesota T-Wolves is gonna be worth like 2 championships, bro. It's gonna be so like.
Would you compare it to Braun in Cleveland?
I'm not going that far. The championship LeBron James won in Cleveland.
I mean, you said a 1
under the
for 2.
circumstance. I said it's like. I didn't say it was. I low key think LeBron championship in Cleveland is damn near worth 2, legitimately, just due to the circumstance and how he came home to deliver a promise.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna be done again in history. So off of that alone, LeBron was a made man. You know what I'm saying? So like Kevin Durant won't do. Like Kevin Durant, this is not even a hot take. Kevin Durant won't win another championship as long as he's in the NBA. And the fact that he had to go to the Golden State Warriors in order to win, I don't want to go off on a tangent. It's gonna hurt his legacy, man. And all that whining he do about, oh, but they don't put me in them, because you're not that guy, brother. And every time you were in a situation to be that guy, you ran from the grind and you tried to put together another team, and it just never worked, bro. Team chemistry minus 1,000. You can't just go out and hoop, KD. You got to be a leader. You got to go be a leader of men. You got to hold people accountable. You got to be on the front office ass like LeBron. Make it to where you got 1+1s in your contract. Keep ownership honest. Make them build a contender around you. But it's not something that he does. Because Kevin Durant, famous line, I just want to hoop, man. I just want to. Hey, man. Hey. We got names for people like you.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna take the taking the T-Wolves in 6. Taking the T-Wolves in 6. And
I like T-Wolves in 6.
Take T-Wolves in 6, and Boston, they just need to win. I'm not, as it looks like they always want to give away. Bro, they beat
so
them.
we don't get copyright infringement. I can hear another network clearly through our airwaves, and we do not want to get.
No, it's not that clear. We talking over. We ain't gonna get flagged. The Celtics are beatable. Like they're beatable. Absolutely, 1,010% beatable over and more.
This dude is a bum. I can't believe this dude.
Yeah, shout out to our brother Black Peace. Hopefully, he's in good graces. Not sure why he couldn't join the pod tonight. However, he did predict the Timberwolves to win in 7 when the series was tied. He may have said it even before the series started, but he definitely said it after the series got tied 2 apiece. He predicted the T-Wolves to win in 7. He also predicted Jokic to only have 1 double-digit assist game throughout this entire series, which is a very bold prediction. So shout out to Roster Dominance, our brother Black Peace, for with the foresight for that type of analysis. So yeah, man, if y'all want to continue to get that type of insight and analysis, y'all know what y'all got to do. You got to like, share, subscribe, comment, and stay tuned in every week for the Respect the Game podcast. This has been a great episode once again, beautiful people. Thank y'all for tuning in. We do not take it for granted, and we will see you next week.